Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 516 of the DrunkNerds podcast. I'm as always, I am Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the man who has never been once deemed by Tommy Dreamer, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Order a big old thing of gravel here. I want to go and fill up the backyard and do this and that and stuff. And so on my Ring camera, I have little backwards footage where I can just rewatch. And I got this little notification at work one day, so I go and check it, right? And I just see this big old truck go to the front yard and stuff, just dump a whole bunch of gravel right in my the front the front
Nice.
yard and stuff. Now the thing about it was, at the time, it's like, okay, well, she told me that she bought some a big old thing of gravel, right? I come home, it's a 5 foot tall mound of fucking big ass rocks and stuff like that, gravel stuff. And so it took me a better part of a month to fucking get it all situated and just
Good.
dug with a shovel, with a freaking barrel, with everything else. So it's finally depleted. So I'm incredibly happy about that. That was one of my number one priorities I wanted to get done when I actually went on vacation here. But another thing that I ended up doing on vacation and stuff, I actually went through and bit on the full year of the whole PlayStation extra
Mm.
tier because my
Yeah.
thing was
Yeah,
starting to.
Yep.
Yeah. So I downloaded a couple games because of that.
I seen that. I seen one that
And
stuck out very much to me.
and what's hilarious about that is I've also been making some more attempted modifications for my PS5, and this is going to be interesting though because
We putting some ROMs on here, Gables?
oh
Are we
no,
playing games on this thing?
no, nothing software related,
I
unfortunately.
did the finger thing, but for people that audio listeners.
Though that is out and is available, I did not venture into the modifications of the software.
Okay.
But on top of that, though, no modifications to that, but I did end up ordering a couple different things. One is like a vinyl decal for the centerpiece of the PS5, which I wanted this PS5 to more or less kind of resemble sort of like an ice, like a cool color type of feel. So like the whole star blue on top of like a white vinyl sort of thing kind of had its all appeal to me. So I ended up doing that, and I ended up getting, it was on sale, right? This particular type of stand for the PS5 because of how my room is positioned. I cannot stand up my PS5 on its normal stand. And when I try to do it horizontally, like place it horizontally, I try to get the thing all secure into it. It never wants to stay secure. When you try to even briefly move it, it'll slide off the damn stand.
Yeah. I've only ever been able to do it horizontally. I don't have the upper body strength to do it vertically.
So, anyway, in regards to the whole PlayStation 5 stuff,
I'm really proud of myself for that joke, and I don't know why.
But the thing about this stand is it's fairly straightforward. You just slide on a couple of the things like at the side of the shelves and stuff, and it's supposed to do like the same type of purpose. The only difference is it's not going to be sliding off the kickstand and stuff that's came with the system. So I'm looking forward to seeing that potentially come in next week. But other than that, though, it's been me quintessentially watching YouTube stuff, getting some work done, playing some games like I wanted to in the beginning anyway. But how have you been, Tyler?
I'm doing all right, been a pretty good week. The manager at my job that's been making me personally and pretty much everybody personally and professionally miserable for the last at least a couple of years I've been there.
Yeah.
But for some people a little longer. He was let go by the company on last week. Last Friday, we found out Monday morning. I literally had tears in my eyes from joy and you would have thought,
Shit, dude.
you would have thought everybody there was having it was borderline a fucking party at 5:30 in the morning on Monday.
Oh my God.
So that was pretty cool. I got my day off on Wednesday for the first time since May.
I noticed that too.
Yeah. I was pretty great. I didn't know what to do. I was like, like everybody's like, "How was your day off?" When I got back Thursday, I'm like, "It's
It
kind
was
of cool." It's
amazing.
like, "What'd you do?" I'm like, I don't
I
know.
cannot tell you because
I
I don't
don't.
remember.
Yeah, like I don't. And like, there's a couple days this week I got home at like because the last like I mean we've always worked a lot of hours at my job. Like usually like 50 hours a week, which I mean it's a grind when it's every week. The last like 4 months it's been like I get up at 5:30 in the morning, get ready, be at work at 6:30, get off work at like a little after 7, pick up
Mhm.
Louis, get home at 8 o'clock, take a shower, make dinner, eat dinner at 8:45, clean up, go to bed at 9:15. That's been my life for the last like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
So a couple days, like twice this week, I got off work at like 5:30, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what did I do before? Like it's pretty fucking crazy. It's just like I don't know if this is gonna continue because I mean it's probably it's not because I deliver packages. I'm not gonna say what company I work for, but I'm one of the big two. I'll say that that deliver packages. You could figure it out from there. Um, Not Amazon. I have some self respect. But the holidays coming up, so it's gonna get busier. But it's just like just sitting there. I was sitting on the couch, like my mom's like, what, I talked to my mom the next day, and she's like, how's that been getting off at like being home at 5:30? It's like I ate dinner like the other day at like 6 o'clock, and like my body clock is so screwed up that it was like 6:45, and I was ready to go to bed because I'm so used to like eating dinner and then 20-30 minutes later going to bed. And it's
Wow.
like I was just sitting there. It was like 6:45. I'm falling asleep on the couch because I'm just like, she's like, what did you like? Did you watch anything? Did you like play any games or anything? I'm like, no. I just sat on the couch. I'm like, I kind of just scrolled through shit for like an hour and a half because I'm like, I didn't know what to
Mhm.
do because I don't know what I did. Like I used to just like not do anything. I would just like pop on like a YouTube video, and watch that and then go directly to bed. And like I'm sitting, I'm like, I mean, there's things like you got that like paralysis analysis where you're sitting there and I'm like, well, I can watch an episode of this, or I can play a couple of games of this, or I can do this, and I just do nothing. But long story short, short story long. It's been a pretty good week. I don't know how long it's gonna last for. Um, I don't know what my next day off, me getting my day off will be. But yeah, it was really nice. It's been a pretty decent week. Other than the fact on Friday, Gables, I delivered a package. I delivered it like into the rural. I live in Iowa, so I delivered it in the rural area. I deal with a lot of Amish, a lot of farms, stuff like that. Um,
Okay.
I delivered to this house. Um, there's a few houses on my route that I know that there's a lot of geese,
Yeah.
a lot of goose, as they say. Um, I've had a lot of untitled goose game moments where I'm like, are these things just fucking with me at this point? Um, but I've had the dogs are great. They always get a ton of treats out of me. Um, but there's this one house I go to a lot, and they have a lot of chickens. And
Okay.
I've never had a lot of issues with the chickens. And the chickens always go around and they just kind of walk. Sometimes they'll walk by me and it's like, who the fuck's this guy? They don't do anything. Gables, you would have thought I was fucking Link attacking these
Yeah.
cuckoos, whatever, because they just started swarming me and flying around my fucking face. I thought I was gonna die. I'm like, is this how I go? Is this it for me? Is this how Tyler dies? Uh, they just started flying around my face, and I have no idea why. I didn't do anything. I just walked to the door as I always do. I put the package down nicely. I rang the bell. I did not do anything. I didn't try to touch them. I didn't try to do anything. I just walked by him, and then one jumped, and then like 50 more. Fuck, well, not 50, like a dozen more jumped. Scare the shit out of me.
Oh my god, you were a victim of a chicken attack.
Yeah, fucking wild, man. I was like I don't, yeah, I don't like. If
Well,
I this is how I die. Like, I hope my family thinks of something cooler. 'Cause this is not the way I want it to go. Uh,
you're just
yeah.
gonna have subconscious nightmares of chickens in your
Yeah.
sleep now. It's like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
next time I go there, I'm gonna bring a sword. And I'm gonna do like a spin attack. Uh, yeah, or yeah, I don't know. It was fucking weird. Anyways, welcome to the podcast. Every week we get together, talk about video games. Before we get into that though, Gables, we gotta talk about something's coming up in 4 weeks. Holy shit!
Yeah, we got it.
4 weeks away, baby. Woo! In 4 weeks, Gables and I will hopefully be nearly done with our Extra Life.
Yes.
Extra-life.org. Go to that website. It's in the show description down below. Click on that link. It'll take you right there. You want to look for us, you can. Tyler Courtney and Gabe Bagno. Or if not, sign up for yourself, or tell your friends, whatever. I don't care. Do that. Yeah, it's a really cool thing we do every year. Started in 2008 for a girl named Tori. She was a teenage girl. I think she was 13 when she passed away of cancer back in down in Houston, Texas. Really great guy named Doc Adams that we both know created this charity event 14 years ago, and since then has kind of blown up. It's done all around the world. Have raised over $100 million in that time. For all the money goes towards Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Let me try that again. Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So they all go there. You get to pick the hospital of your choice anywhere in the United States or Canada. I'm doing the Iowa City one. If you watch Iowa hockey games or anything about college football, if you see the one where the Iowa Hawkeyes, at the end of every first quarter, they turn around to all the kids and they wave at the hospital. That is the hospital that I am donating to. Gables is donating to the one in Seattle. So yeah, any of the money that we raise goes 100% directly to them. And what we do is we play games for 24 straight hours. It's coming up on November 5th. If people don't know, so I said, you play 24 straight hours. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever. You get to sign up and not do anything. I don't care. As long as you're raising money and helping out or sharing the cause is great. So yeah, please do all that. This will be my 11th year. This will be Gables' 10th year. I am wearing one of my shirts right now. I think this is from 2020, I believe. They used to put the years on these things. I don't know if they have the year on. They do not have the year. But yeah, so yeah, really great event. We would kind of drop some hints here and there. Eat healthy, be smart, get a good night's sleep, obviously. Don't over caffeinate. Don't drink a ton of caffeine early. Couple other things I want to just drop some hints a little bit every week, or not hints, tips every week. Give you a few. One thing I always want, I don't know, I might do those already, but make sure that if there's any games that you think you might want to play or you will play, make sure they are downloaded and updated. And if sometimes if you don't play a game for a long time, like the PlayStation or the Xbox doesn't automatically update it for you. Go in there, click on it, make sure it's up to date. That'll save you a lot of time, because it's definitely been times where it's we go to play a game and we're going all hop in on Rocket League. It's fuck, someone doesn't have it updated or doesn't have it downloaded, so now we gotta wait for them to download that. Or they got to download it, but they haven't updated it, and now they got a 15 gigabyte update they got to do, and crap. We'll find something else, or we'll have to wait until he's ready to go. Stuff just little things like that. So just be prepared. Have everything ready to go. Download, even if you think there's just a chance you might play the game. Have it downloaded. Just because if you have the room on your hard drive to download these things, have it ready to go. Have it prepped and ready to go. Make sure if you're going to stream, make sure all your stuff is set up the day before. I'm waiting. I'm getting a new computer hopefully next week. Knock on wood. It said it could come as soon as Thursday. So I'm going to try to get some stuff set up because I want to try to stream this year. Yeah. So stuff like that. Eat smart. Make sure that you're not just loading up on carbs and eating pizza rolls like I did in 2016. You just eat an entire bag of pizza rolls throughout the course of 24 hours, and then you're just full and you feel like garbage, and you still have 14 more hours to go. It's and then now it's cool. Now it's 3 a.m. You still got 5 more hours to go. And you're super tired, and you feel like garbage. So don't do that. Yeah. And if you have games coming out around there, or maybe there's some games on your backlog that you've been wanting to play, great time to do it. Really great time to clean up your backlog, and make plans ahead of time. Plan some games out with your friends. Gables and I we created a doc that were some ideas that of games we want to play, and it's like it's better to have a list too long than just like don't just fixate on one or two games. Because Gables and I know I've done that in the past where I'm like, this will be like last year. My 10th year last year, Far Cry 6. That was my plan. That game is going to take up half my day easily. I had 4 or 5 games planned. Gables and I were going to play like a couple other games together stuff too. But I'm like, by Far Cry 6, I'm saving that game for Extra Life. I played the tutorial stuff before Extra Life. I'm like, that's gonna be my game of it. And I played like 5 hours. I'm like, I don't like this game. It's just like, I'm like, well, crap. Well, that thing, I was expecting that game to take up the majority of my day, and it took up, 1/5, 1/6 of my day. Shit. So make sure that you are over prepared, for Extra Life. Make sure that you have, way more games than you think will be possible to play. And if there's games coming out close to that, maybe you just, maybe you get them and you just kind of hold them until the day of, and like make sure you save them. Like I always recommend great, good open world games that you can just jump into. And like, I've always found and that's why Far Cry 6, I thought was like a sure thing going to work for me. Cause I've saved a lot of, Assassin's Creed games in the past for Extra Life and just did side quests. Like I did that with Odyssey. I did that with Origins. I did the Black Flag. I've done that with multiple games where it's just like I've just saved these games for Extra Life, and I didn't do a lot of story stuff, but I'm just gonna I'm having a good time in these worlds. I'm just gonna level up and get grind for a bunch of stuff, and do stuff like that. So I recommend Gables, I don't know if there's anything you want to add on this before we move on. No.
To be perfectly honest with you, the couple things I would add is obviously drink a lot of water, which I believe we have already stated before. And another thing is when it comes to games to play on there, I mean, yes, it's best if you do have them downloaded and everything else all updated and stuff, so that way on game day you can do this and do that. But if you have a group of friends that you like to play some games with, or if you did have like a specific group that you go forth and play specific games, I said like with God, I'm thinking about a couple other games here, like say with Rocket League or like with Overwatch 2, that new Overwatch 2 that came out and stuff.
Yeah, can't play it, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. But what I'm just saying, though, it's like if you have a group of friends or some, or in a clan or something like that, hit them up and stuff and see if they can help you like stay awake during portions of the night, because some of the biggest issues you'll come across, I mean, you'll have maybe 6 hours or so where you've played like a good slew of games. Maybe you found that one game that'll keep you satisfied for that 6 hours, or you may have just do like 2-hour chunks, which I've done in the past. Once you hit that nighttime and stuff like that, especially when you hit after like around that 1 or 2 a.m., that type of frame right there, things will start to get foggy. The fatigue is starting to come in right at that moment and stuff. You basically want to have people keep you awake during that time, because you need that ringer in order to have that energy started into you, so that way you don't try to fall asleep, or you don't feel like you're just going to go and crash while the controller's in your hand. But most importantly and stuff, it's like you need breaks. Obviously, you need like every couple hours, I would suggest, treat it like you would like say at a job, where every 2 hours you get a break. Maybe like every 4 hours you get like a lunch break or whatever the heck. I've done in the past to where every 2 hours I have a break. I subconsciously get myself away from the console. I either like go like get some water, maybe use the restroom, maybe walk the dog or whatever the hell.
Yes.
I mean, Tyler's done the same thing too previously inside of Extra Lives in the past.
Good dog walk on Extra Life Day is good for everybody, especially a dog, because he's gonna be sitting there looking at you, watching play games all day. So.
But with everything else and that stuff, the breaks are the most important part. What you eat, what you drink, what you initially go through and plan with. You have to treat it like a strategy type of day, because while it is playing video games for 24 hours, it can be an like a freaking gauntlet if you let it be. And the less strain on your body, the less strain on what you got to do inside of this game, I mean, the better in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you said it. The ringer is maybe the most important part, outside of like eating healthy and stuff like that. Maybe like the 5 most important things. If we can give you like 5 tips for Extra Life, I would say plenty of games, drink water, eat smart, take breaks. The ringer. If you can get a ringer, we've had years where we've had them, and they've been fans. Like they will save you. Well, we've had
Absolutely.
years in the past where people are like they're just play like they're hopping in and playing games with you just because they know what you're doing. Like I remember one year Justin joined us at like
Yep.
4 in the morning, joined me and like joined you and me, and we played Friday the 13th all
Yes, we
throughout the
did.
night, and just kept us awake for extra life. And he played with us all night. He just hung. He just and like in some of that time he wasn't even playing games with us. He just hopped in the party chat and just talked to us, and just kept us company. Because it does get tough. Because when there's been time like we a lot of in years past where not so much anymore, but like we've had years where there's been like 6, 7, 8 of us like in a party chat the entire time, and once you've been in a party chat for 18 hours, it's really quiet. It gets really quiet. It's a really
Absolutely.
not a lot of talking.
It gets dead quiet, dude. It's
Yeah.
like there. I think some of the funniest moments we've ever had is like doing this in general for Extra Life has been those ringer moments from that midnight to like 5 a.m. period to where we're
Yes.
just randomly bullshitting and then it's like randomly just making each other laugh for
Yeah.
the stupidest shit.
Canadian mythology, shit like that.
Canadian mythology. I mean, freaking. Like God, what was it? Like fucking. Oh God damn it, Wes with his cat. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it was
Just anything West, really, honestly, is
yeah,
great.
anything Wes in that regards. Him talking about his cat, named this freaking cat string cheese shit. That had us all.
The string cheese, yeah. Yeah. So I recommend, like, if you can, like, work out with some friends, like, hey, can you just like hop in and play some games with me and shit? Like, I recommend it. Like, or just hop in the party chat and talk to you because you need that. You need that energy burst. You need that guy that come out. You need that guy that come off that bench and just kind of keep you buzzing, keep you going, have a good time. Because it's hard. I mean, it's a marathon for a reason. It's like, yeah, it's playing video games, but I assure you, after about 14 hours, you're kind of just tired of playing video games. But like, fuck, I still got 10 more hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are just a lot of like these are like the biggest things we recommend. You know, this is like I said, it's my 11th year. This is Gables' 10th year. I've done it every year but one. One year I didn't make it, and I was the guy falling asleep with the controller in my hand at 4 in the morning. And so yeah, and if you can't do it, you can't do it. Don't stress yourself out, don't work yourself up. It's because you're struggling.
I've done it like years past where I split it up across 2 days or even like a good span of like 9 or 10 hours like after work.
Yeah, I mean, if you got some people do it like they do it like 6 hours every. They'll break it up over a month or 2 weeks, or they do it the next weekend. You don't have to do it on game day. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to do it, like I said. But yeah, we're gonna keep talking about it for the next at least the next month. So yeah, we do have to work out though when the fuck we're going to record this podcast because usually Saturday night is a recording night. So we're gonna be a little busy on November 5th. But
yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm just like the entire time, Gables, we've been talking about this. I've had chills because I love this day so much. I love it because I mean we have a good time, get together, and we're doing this really cool thing. To help sick kids out, and I want to help those big beautiful kids out there. So let's do it. But anyways, Gables, this is a video game podcast where we talk about video games. If you're liking this so far, please, if you're watching us on YouTube or anywhere else, please like, follow, subscribe, hit that 5 stars, ring the bell, whatever. Look in the description down below, like I said, and find the links to our Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, app podcast, Spotify, all those things. Wherever you listen to podcasts, search for us there. Click on those links down below. Follow us there. Whatever really you can do to help. We really appreciate it. So yeah, and like I said, I'm getting a new computer. Hopefully in the next couple weeks. And if all things work out with it, if it's as good as I think it is, with my budget, maybe I'll do. We can try to do some streaming here. For us and try to help us out a little bit more. So please, if you're listening to us on the audio side of things, or you're watching us on YouTube and you're not subscribed, subscribe because hopefully you got some cool shit coming. But anyways, Gables, let's get into some video games. We're only 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, so let's do it. Gables, we're getting another PlayStation remaster, possibly remake. So we've been seeing this a lot. It's been kind of a topic of discussion. Really since the beginning of this generation, we've seen a lot of like Um, PS5 updates with games with upgrades like Ghost of Tsushima, got like a PS5 Death Stranding, got a PS5 update, stuff like that. And they charge $10 for it. Whatever, it's $10. I'm not gonna be super bothered by it. They are much better. We've also seen that The Last of Us Part One remake. So apparently going on right now is rumors are, and I'm gonna assume these. I mean, this is coming from MP First, who I've personally never heard of before this. Originally broke the story, but several other leakers that have leaked a lot of things in the past have also kind of corroborated with this. So this is coming from MP First. I'm just going to read through some of the stuff from the article. Our source didn't elaborate whether or not this was a built for the ground up style of remake, kind of like how Last of Us Part 1 was. However, we were told that the remake features improved lighting system, ambient occlusion, and such. Overhauled textures and better animations with new character models to match those found in the sequel, Horizon Forbidden West. We were told there is a big focus on bringing the accessibility options that were introduced in the sequel. Two sources have verified that the project is indeed real, with a third giving some brief details that it may feature a form of co-op. Customization is said to around the different tribes established in the Horizon franchise. However, we have not been able to verify that. Either that, nor the details on whether or not the online would feature any sort of co-op or PvP. So there's been some like with the multiplayer stuff. There's been some discussion about this could be a standalone thing, kind of how like we're seeing with like the Last of Us faction stuff, or maybe this is like its own separate thing, or maybe this is like the thing they add to add. If it say it's a remake, maybe not a bad idea to add this to it to make it a little more bearable for the $70. If it's assuming it's coming out for $70. I mean, Gables, I sent this to you on Sunday. It kind of just broke Sunday morning. I sent this to you. I'm kind of curious. It's been about a week now. What's your thoughts on this?
What's kind of interesting about this is I initially didn't know what to think about the news in that regards. It was later corroborated by a bunch of other people that were more knowledgeable inside of than the know, and saying that this was something that was potentially down the pipeline and stuff for PlayStation in regards to what they're releasing. Also kind of ties into another news article thing that was kind of leaked out afterwards and stuff. But in regards to my overall feelings, I mean, I think it's too early for a complete like remaster or something like that for Horizon Zero Dawn. As good of a game it is, you already have the similar game already available to play, like say on the PlayStation 5's platform. It's already been updated to be 60 frames and all this other like 4K stuff. It looks great, personally, in my opinion, even though it came out 2017, even though you can technically still play it on the PS5, and it is downloadable on the PS5, and it was actually one of those type of games I think I own on PS5 as well in regards because of the whole instant collection thing. I want to say
It's
I don't
on
know.
the PS PlayStation collection that you get if you have a PS5 and you have PS Plus. It's one of the 20 games on there.
I get why Sony would go forth and remaster Horizon Zero Dawn and wanting to re-release it. I mean, they've done it previously, like with other games you have mentioned, like the Ghost of Tsushima stuff, the freaking like Last of Us Part 1. I mean,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yes, I can understand they want to get a little bit more bang for their buck and stuff, but in terms of pricing, if they do an additional 70 stuff, I'm assuming it's going to be $70 because I'm not going to give Sony the benefit of the doubt of it being
No,
lower
they're
than
gonna charge
that.
70. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the initial thing that's coming out where people are speculating that it will be a full price 70. But as far as my personal interest in it, I don't really have too much interest in it because I have the physical and digital of Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm trying to play through some of that because it's taken me literally so long just to play through that game. I do not want to wait another couple of years before I want to play Forbidden West, for God's sake. And that's just essentially my opinion on it. It's like we haven't seen it really in action. I mean, Sony hasn't really gone through and showcased what it looks like during this remaster. For all we know, it could be maybe like another year out that they
Yeah.
could try to re-release this, or it could be like maybe, I wouldn't say a couple of years. I would say like maybe like another year or so, but that's me speculating it, by the way. But at that point, I really don't see the purpose of why they are using resources in order to re-release it now, other than the fact that, hey, it's another option for people that never played it before can go forth and play it on the PS5, even though that in and of itself is a flawed sort of point of view of it as well.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's kind of like, I mean, when the rumors came out last year for The Last of Us Part 1 stuff, I was initially like, the fuck are we doing? Um, yeah, I mean, I bought it. I played through it. I loved it anyways.
Right, right.
It's just like, yeah, like Starfighter, about it's kind of an extension of that conversation as well. Where it's like Starfighter Away, it's like, it's a smart business move because they're looking at it from the standpoint, it's like, a lot of people that bought a PS5 didn't own a PS4, or a lot of people that maybe they own a PS3 but they don't own a PS5, whatever. It's smart to do that, put it out better as usual, better than it's ever been. And this new strategy we've been talking about with Jim Ryan taking over PlayStation, where they've been doing a lot where like all their big IPs now are, even their non-big IPs are getting TV shows and movies. Like Ghost of Tsushima's getting a movie. Twisted Metal is getting a Peacock show next year. We've already heard the rumors of like the Destruction Battle Royale, the Destruction All-Stars. People are making the Twisted Metal game. We'll see how the fuck that goes. That game came out and died right away. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a PlayStation issue, not their issue. But so I wouldn't be shocked to hear that game come out right around the time that show comes out. I believe that's next year sometime.
Right.
The Last of Us show is coming out early next year. So, I mean, we see that. I mean, it's a thing we go back to all the time. Witcher 3 came out 2015. One of the best-selling games of the year. Its second best-selling year was in 2020 when the TV show came out for Witcher on Netflix.
Yep. Absolutely.
And we're seeing that right now with Cyberpunk is bigger now than ever. And not because they fixed it, because the Cyberpunk anime came out on Netflix this last month.
And more people invested time into it, and it's been updated to an extent where people kind of feel acceptable to actually go forth and buy it.
Yes. And on top, I mean, and it's the streaming over 1 million people like during peak hours on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because it's not because of the updates. I mean, the updates definitely help, but the reason why the last month it's the most popular it's ever been is because of the anime. More people are just getting their eyes on it, and like that's smart. So the way PlayStation's looking at this, like, okay, cool. Like they're buying Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, 5 years, 2 years later when it's $20, $30, $40. What if we have an up-to-date version that is $70? And that's incredibly smart. And I get why they're doing that. Are they burning some goodwill? Maybe a little bit, like a shred? Some. Yeah, not a lot. But are they burning some in the meantime while they're doing it for the more hardcore fans like us and other people? Yeah. But they're a business. And as much as we love these franchises or love these consoles, whether Nintendo, I mean, as much as we love Uncle Phil Spencer, does he honestly actually care about us? Not really.
No, none of these companies care about
Does Nintendo, does Nintendo, as much as we love, like Miyamoto and Iwata and stuff like that, did they really actually care about us? No, not really. Jim Ryan definitely doesn't care. And at least he doesn't hide the fact that he doesn't care. Like that's
kind of the most refreshing thing about it. He doesn't really hide his thoughts and feelings in regards to, well, for example, the whole competition from Call of Duty and everything else going towards Microsoft.
Yeah, it's kind of like in politics where like they always talk about like the dog whistle stuff where like we're not saying the thing, but we're just saying a lot of words to say the thing without saying the thing. And right now, like Jim Ryan's saying that quiet part thing out loud. And not like he's not directly saying, yeah, we're just doing this because we know people are going to buy it at $70, stuff like that. But it's like you're making it very obvious what we know what we're doing. And do I like it? No, of course not. No, I don't. Like, do I want a remake? Horizon Zero Dawn was my game of the year for 2017. It's one of my game of the generations. I love this game. I replayed it back in January with the PS5 update that plays at 4K 60 on PS5. And it's fucking gorgeous. But like, and Forbidden West though blew it out of the fucking water for how gorgeous. Like, and I've talked about excuse me, when I got a PS4 Pro, one of the first new big game to come out on the PS4 was Horizon Zero Dawn, and I've talked about it's one of the two big games that blew me away when I saw the graphics and the power of like HDR and 4K and 60 frames per second. There was that and Gears of War 5 on the Xbox Series or Xbox One X rather. Those two games blew me the fuck away. And Forbidden West blew it out of the water. And you're telling me, hey, we're gonna have Zero Dawn look like that? Cool. Sounds amazing. Last of Us Part 1 is one of my 5 favorite games of all time. I love Zero Dawn. Not in the top 10. Probably not top 20. If I had to make it, I mean, I don't know where it'd be. It'd definitely be in the top, probably top 30, top 40, maybe. Yeah, sure. For sure. But we're talking about like Last of Us Part 1, the 10-hour game. Zero Dawn, 30, 40-hour game. I beat that game twice. I put over 70 hours in that game. I love the game very much. But it's the same thing. We're not the audience. But also I think about Part 1, when Last of Us Part 1 came out. The game came out in September. The show isn't coming out until early next year.
True.
And the argument is like, well, you're not the audience. Okay, cool. We keep talking about that TV show audience. The TV show isn't coming out for another few months, 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Right.
Who is the audience in for right now? Right now, the audience is us. It is me. I am that audience. It's the people that I don't know what the percentage is. I mean, I doubt it's a huge percentage.
Now, if they had planned that out well, they would have had the TV show be out and stuff, and them releasing that game alongside the TV show being out, because that's marketing sort of thing into the show.
My theory is that Last of Us Part 2, the PS5 update, not a remake, but like the $10 upgrade thing. My theory is that comes out around the time the show comes out. So boom, boom, you got those two. Maybe they do like a dual pack thing for like $100. Boom, you got both games. That's not a bad deal, honestly. If you never played either one, but if you are someone that's just like me, I own Last of Us Part 2 digitally. You want to charge me $10 to play with a PS5 upgrade? I'm game for it. Like I was there. I bought Death Stranding upgrade. I bought the Ghost of Tsushima upgrade. No, I did not. I did not buy the Ghost of Tsushima upgrade. I bought that for extra, PlayStation Plus extra. But I bought the Uncharted Lost Legacy update for $10. So I'm there for it. I just replayed Uncharted 4 earlier this year with the PS5 upgrade. And this comes out and it's just a $10 upgrade thing. Whatever. I don't care. I'll probably, honestly, $10. I can swallow that. It's whatever. I spend that on shitty food every day at the gas station for lunch. Not every day, but like $6 a day. So, but I mean, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, I get it. And it's definitely one of those things where it's like, I don't love it because it's not for me. It's just one of those things. It's not for me. If it comes out, when it comes out, it's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna sell well, and like fuck us, because whatever. It's just one of those weird, like you're in the middle stage where it's like I understand why they're doing it. It's not a dumb idea. But like I've just been really weird. I keep talking about this PlayStation strategy where it's like it feels like a very old school strategy where like they're tying in stuff with TV shows. But the difference is though, we're talking about high quality games for the most part here. We're talking about Last of Us. We're talking about Horizon. These are games that are considered, like Last of Us. Those games are considered one of the greatest games of all time. Horizon is considered one of the best games of 2017. One of the best games of the generation. Like we're not talking about like some Transformers getting a Transformers movie in 2007. We're talking about great games getting shows.
Right.
And that will work for them as long as they keep to that. But it's like then we're seeing the stuff with the mobile stuff. Like they're buying mobile studios and making mobile games. It's like that's a very like 2000s-esque move we're looking at. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. As long as Herman Hulst did an interview last week. He talked about like their strategy of like they're doing live server stuff, which that concerns me more than anything. Honestly, than anything is like them being really big on, like they said, that over a dozen games, live service games are in development. But they said that they're still extremely focused on the single player games because let's face it, the single player games is what's made PlayStation the last decade, the last 15 years, going back to like Uncharted 1 back in 2007. Those are the things that made that PlayStation. Like that's been the backbone of the PlayStation. Is That's the thing that brought us to the consoles, and it was like then that became like everybody bought PlayStations because that's what over Xbox because of their strong IP single player games. So as long as there's a good balance between live service, remakes, and having really good top tier games like single player games that we love, then I'll still be here buying the PS6. So, but Gables, let's move on
All right.
to CG Projekt Red. Essentially, just gave us a 10-year plan.
Yes, they
Um,
did.
so they talked about here. I took a lot of IGN had a really good article here and kind of broke everything down. So the company's main studio, comprising 3 development hubs in Poland, remains focused on finishing the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of Witcher 3. That's supposed to be coming out this year. The Phantom Liberty expansion coming to Cyberpunk 2077 and 2023. But next, after that, they are planning 3 Witcher games for them. So from here, so next 3 games in development pipeline all
Okay.
belong in the Witcher series. 2 are in pre-production. The first is Sirius, the code name for a single and multiplayer game made by the Boston studio Molasses Flood, who they just purchased last year. Also in pre-production is these are like code names. Polaris, the first game in the new Witcher saga, made by the core CG Projekt Red team. Next up is most likely because like they had like a weird like picture and like you couldn't really tell what's coming up, but so we're just all kind of going off kind of what we're looking at the picture. Most likely is Canis Majoris, a full-fledged Witcher game, but separate from the new saga and made by an external studio. CD Projekt Red expects to follow Polaris with 2 sequels in the space in the next 60 in just 6 years. So no idea when when the first game comes out. No idea when that's going to come out. After that, they plan on having the next 2 after that come out within 6 years. Meanwhile, Orion, the next game in the Cyberpunk universe, will be made by a new CD Projekt Red studio in Boston, as well as CD Projekt Red Vancouver. Hadar, I believe Hadar. Hadar, whatever. The new IP is the most distant prospect. CD Projekt Red is working on the setting, but hasn't begun any actual kind of gameplay. All these games will be made in Unreal Engine 5. This is the first time that CD Projekt Red has actually worked with external studios to help make these games. So, kind of the idea is they're gonna make 3 Witcher games, a new IP, and a Cyberpunk sequel, basically all within the next 10 years.
That's very ambitious for them, considering
Mm-hmm.
they just got off the stint where they spent 10 years or more on side of just developing Cyberpunk 2077. But my overall thoughts about this stuff, it's like, yeah, the Witcher stuff is fairly exciting because it not only confirms new games in that retrospect, but it also confirms more that, hey, they're continuing on with the Cyberpunk franchise in regards to what they want to do with them. I mean, there's multiple different directions they could take with that franchise as well. I mean, even after the whole popularity of the Netflix anime and stuff and the renewed interest in people wanting to play Cyberpunk 77, that's huge. Kind of similar to what Tyler was saying with the whole Witcher 3 aspect, to where we're getting a PS5 and like an Xbox Series X/S version of it releasing later on this year, which kind of makes me kind of wonder too if that's going to be one of those type of $10 upgrade things, or if it's going to be a full on, you know, buy like at full price. Because CD Projekt Red has not elaborated upon that yet, to my well, as far as I know. But in regards to this, man, it's like that's a good 10-year stretch though. But it interesting to see them outsource to different studios, try to get some more help. And then my hope is that since the whole CEO walked, like basically just stepped down, basically is out of the picture and stuff, that they are going to be planned and focused upon getting all their different projects done, hopefully like in a timely kind of manner, as timely as they can be, barring whatever type of crap that goes on. But I'm fairly excited to see what they're going to do in the direction of Witcher, whether it's going to be like a supposed trilogy or if it's going to be just like 2 games and a side game. But I'm more interested in seeing what they do with Cyberpunk 20, like just Cyberpunk franchise in general, only because, like I stated before, there are multiple directions they could go to, like different areas around the United States, kind of similar to how Bethesda does with their Fallout series. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. Appreciate you holding up there. I had to grab another beer. I had to go pee really bad. Sorry. Uh, but
Yeah, no biggie.
yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. I mean, it's a bold strategy. I think this definitely is like a we're doing this for the shareholders because their stock has taken a big dive since Cyberpunk 2077
Hmm.
came out. Um, but it's also interesting because they've talked about a lot about fixing crunch because they've been like one of the worst case, like the ones we know about, as far as like crunch. And I've talked about it over and over again. We're not talking about just like, oh, we're working 60 hours a week or 50 hours a week. Like, no, they're working 80, 90 hours probably a week.
Yep.
The crunch isn't just like, oh, they're working 10-hour days and a Saturday. No, like we're talking probably working 12 to 14 hours a day and then Saturday and probably Sunday. Um, so it's interesting that like they said they've tried to fix a lot of that in the last couple of years. And then they like, hey, we're putting out 6 AAA games, some of the biggest games ever, over the next 10 years.
Unless they're outsourcing to a whole bunch of different other
Yeah, and
studios,
that's
I mean,
definitely
that's not going to be possible in 10 years for them.
yeah, and that's definitely the case we're here. Like, we're talking about like they have 3 like full fledged studios. And they have one in Poland, one in Vancouver, and one in Boston. I think they're opening up another one as well. And then they have
Yeah.
a couple other external studios helping out too. So, oh yeah, Molasses Studio in Boston. Yeah, yeah, if like that's working out, and then also the switch to the Unreal Engine, which from everything we've been hearing and they've been talking about Unreal Engine 5 is that it helps speed up the process and it's much easier to work with because you don't have to learn a bunch of new tools.
That's good
So
to
it's
know.
a lot easier. It's a lot easier to hire on people for. So that helps you think because that's the biggest thing is like how is that going to work with yeah, I mean you're talking about a lot here. I mean this is in we're just in a different era now where you think about like Naughty Dog. They put out in a what a 6-year stretch. They put out 3 Uncharted games and Last of Us,
Yes.
and then they put out 2 games in PS4 era. Like we're talking about like Santa Monica Studios putting out God of War next month,
Hmm.
and that's a good chance that's probably it for them for the rest of that generation. Um, and
Quintessentially, yeah.
we hear about like a lot of these studios now internally have like they're expanding out to like 2-3 studio like the 2 or 3 teams now, and they're all working on different projects and stuff like that. And like that's kind of the world we're in now, where it's like these games are bigger and like they look better, they run better, they are bigger. There's more content to them, all that stuff. And we can't keep as fans we expect that stuff from these studios. And there's also got to be a give and take where they can't just keep. We look at Call of Duty; they're taking next year off because even with having a dozen studios working on these fucking games, like at a certain point, the bubble's gonna burst. And we look at Ubisoft, where you hear about like these Assassin's Creed games, they have like 6-7 studios working on these games, and so like even with having a couple external studios and stuff like that, like hey, yeah, like I said, you're talking about 6 full fledged. These aren't just like 12-hour story driven games. These are 80, 90, 100-hour plus games. These are huge games. Like the Assassin's Creed games, the last few have kind of taken what's your strategy here, and it's kind of interesting. I'm just kind of curious how it's going to go, and I just hope it goes well. I've never been like, I dug my time with Witcher 2. I did not really care for. I tried twice with Cyberpunk. I tried it I bought it when it launched. I got my money back. I bought it again at the beginning of this year, and I played it after the PS5 update. I put like a good 6-7 hours into it. And I'm like, nah, it's fine. It just didn't click for me, and people love it. And hey, it's working out for them. If you love it and you want those games, good for you. I hope that the quality sticks up, and hope they treat. Most importantly, I hope they treat the employees well. Because I mean, it's the thing I talk about. Like we want more games. We want these games to keep coming out at a good pace here, and I don't want people to be miserable and suffer and leave this industry because they're miserable or they're overworked or they're treated like shit
Right.
or they're underpaid. Like we love video games, and it's I hate when people complain about. I'll always defend the developers on this, the employees, and as little people in the world, we should do the same because we don't like being treated like shit at work.
No.
And you shouldn't like, hey, get the fuck over it type shit. Um, we should do either just because they make video games that we play. I always want them to be treated well. So if they can be treated well, and maybe we have to wait an extra year for these games to come out because they treat their employees well instead of making them work 80, 90, 100 hours a week, then fuck yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's just kind of like, we've seen Bethesda do this with, they announced like the next like 15 years, like they're making what the fuck's the game coming out next year for them? I'm blanking on the name. Starfield, thank you. And then they're revealing Elder Scrolls 6. And then after that, they're announcing Fallout, the next Fallout game. It's like you just announced, like in 2018, you announced all these games, those first two. And then last year, they announced Fallout. It's like, you're not going to get the Fallout until like the 2030s. It's like,
essentially, if they keep on taking that long to produce their game.
Yeah. They're not going to get the Elder Scrolls 6 is probably going to come out, best case scenario, end of the generation.
I don't know. Something tells me they're not going to be doing that long for Elder Scrolls 6's release. I don't know. Just speculation.
Unless they've been a whole other team working on it. I don't know. But yeah, it's a different time where we don't see. When Insomniac did, in 2020, in 2021, putting out Ratchet and then also Spider-Man Miles Morales in a 6-month span. And then a few months later announcing Wolverine and Spider-Man coming out. We get Spider-Man coming next year and Wolverine coming out in 2024. Shit like that's unheard of. So obviously they have a pretty big studio. But Gables.
Yes.
I think I want to talk about something we haven't talked about in a very long time. And that is our Fantasy Critic League team. So I have here if you are a audio listener, I highly recommend. Now's a good time to jump over to our YouTube channel here. I put the time codes in there, so you can click on you just click up Fantasy Critic there. You click on that, it'll take you right to it. You can see our Fantasy Critic League here that Gables and we started up at the beginning of the year. We haven't talked about it in a long time. It's just because the first 4 months of the year was just craziness of games coming out, and then it kind of just died down until the last we've had a few games pop up here in the last month. So I figured every couple of weeks here, maybe we just jump in and we do an update here. So we got going on here. As of right now, we each get 32 games. Gables and I did a draft at the beginning of the year in January. So Gables has no money left. So whatever he has left is what he because we have to bid on adding games to our teams. It's like fantasy football, but for video games. Anything over 70. So if the open critic score is over 70, if it's a 80, you get 10 points. But if it's a 60, you get minus 10 points. So it's kind of it works off 70. I still have some money left, but not a ton. But it doesn't really matter at this point. I could just bid $1 to add games at this point, and Gables can't do anything about it. But as of right now, it is me winning with $2.99 to Gables $2.41. But I've had 25 games come out to Gables 20, but I still have 7 games coming to Gables 8. And the big key of that, so Gables, he is my Jason Giambi. That is a baseball reference people don't know. Jason Giambi, he is the boomer bust of all boomer bust. That guy would have you look at his box score, he'd be 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts and a home run. And that's Gables. When we do bets or we do guesses or anything like that on E3 or anything like that, he either comes up with the craziest ideas and where the fuck do you even think of that, or he comes up with a crazy idea and it's like, holy shit, he fucking knocked it out of the park. How did he nail that? And that's Gables. That is Gables in a nutshell. And it's paid off a little bit. When we did the draft, we each drafted 20 games. Everything I drafted already had dates, and they were coming out in the next few months. Gables swung for the fences on some of these. He had the first pick, so he took Elden Ring, obviously 95. It's the highest rated game of the year. Also took Tears of the Kingdom, which we didn't know the name at the time. This is January we did this draft. So that's a 0. Gables
Yep.
took the L on that one. But he also drafted God of War Ragnarok. That's coming next year, or coming next month. Probably going to be the second highest rated game of the year. So he took a lot of big swings. So Gables has 1, 2, 3, 4 games on here that are got delayed. If you hear my birds in the background, I apologize. But he has 4 games coming out that are coming out next year. So he's getting 0 points for those. And a couple games still not dated yet though, coming out this year. Everything I took, I'm just bunting here. I'm taking a couple swings here, get some doubles, maybe a couple triples in here. But I took a lot of singles, taking the easy singles here, some sack flies, we're using a lot of baseball references here. So yeah, so like I picked everything I drafted was like games that were coming out like beginning of the year, like Horizon Forbidden West, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Gran Turismo 7, Kirby's in the Forgotten Land. Took a big L on Rainbow Six Extraction. Only got 2 points for that. Dying Light 2, Destiny 2 Witch Queen, which I kind of took as a jab at Gables. It ended up being my highest rated game of the year. Funny enough, with 88. Yeah, so like the only thing I took a swing on was Last of Us Part 1 because that was only a rumor. 88 points also. So yeah, I've got a lot of games that got me like single digits and like some like low 8 games. So, but I saved my money and I've got some good swings in on the open market here. I got like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got me 88. I got Immortality got me 88. Return of the Monkey Island got me 17. Stuff like that. So and Gables, he did a really good job as well. With a lot of the open market stuff. He got like Stray, got him 14. He got Neon White, got him 89. So Gables has got the 2 highest rated games so far of the year on his team.
The first initial batch of things that I bet upon have actually paid off in dividends. Stray, Neon White, Ollie World. And I think there was another game too, but at the same point, those initial batches is what's been that tied me over for quite a long while.
Yeah, so like the free agent stuff, like the big stuff, like you bid on, because like so every week we do like you can like bid on games that are still open, and whoever bids the most gets them. We each had $100, and Gables took a lot of gambles. Like I said, he went way over on the bidding on a lot of times, but it worked out for him. Like I said, he got like Neon White, he got All the Odd World, got him 16 points. Moss Book 2 got him 14 points. Live Alive got him 11 points. He also another game he drafted as well. Hellblade 2, not coming out.
Yeah.
Probably not coming to 2024. So that's another L. It just hasn't officially been given said 2023 yet. So it's still on here.
Right.
But yeah, like took a couple L's though. Gables, you got like you drafted like Nintendo Switch Sports and Trek to Yomi. Each of those got you 1 or 2 points. But I mean, it's whatever. Like I got like Weird West. I was really high on. Got me 5 points. Stuff like that. So yeah, but I mean, we come back here to the top though. You can look at our upcoming releases. Gables has got a lot of big games coming out here. So we look at this is, I mean, Gables for the rest of the year has a Plague Tale Requiem, Sparks of Hope, Bayonetta 3, God of War Ragnarok, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, probably the 5 biggest games coming out the rest of the year. Gables has.
This is not like unintentional either. My focus was going through. I mean, yes, you were going through like and drafting stuff, like getting things, bidding on like just across the year.
I was taking guaranteed points, and you were taking big swings.
Not just big swings though, but I had to try to plan it out in the long term because when it became shaped into what initially was going to be the end of the year and stuff, I had to make bets. Like from the get-go, like when Scarlet and Violet were first announced, I knew I had to be all in on that one because it's like those games, even though they get like, say, the last major releases, like Sword and Shield and stuff, got like, 78 or 79 or something like that, but still were like one of the highest selling Pokemon games of all time. And with Legends Arceus and stuff, getting like 80s.
84. I got 14 points of that one.
Main stuff, I had to make sure, even though I didn't get Arceus and stuff like that throughout the drafting process, or like the Horizon Forbidden West and stuff, which Tyler got good grades, good points on those ones. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that was key for me. Bayonetta 3, that was a no-brainer. The whole things was I did take big swings with those guesses, but at the same time, Bayonetta 3's release date and also footage of it eventually get revealed during Nintendo Direct stuff. But Plague Tale stuff, I know that Tyler very much enjoyed the last one. I know the first game was pretty good, so I'm expecting the same with the sequel. And obviously, for everything else, like God of War Ragnarok, that was the first initial thing where it's like, Tyler got Legends Arceus, and that set me up to what? Well, I know what I got to do now.
yeah. So like it started off. Gables took Elden Ring #1. I took Forbidden West #2. Gables took Tears of the Kingdom #3. I took Legends Arceus #4. Gables took Ragnarok #5.
The fact that you left Ragnarok that open, and that essentially could have just won me the.
Yeah, I mean, it would have guaranteed. Like I have a 60-point lead right now, but that would have guaranteed me, like. If we could have you swap that for like a 5-point game to like that's probably gonna be like a low 90s game, like that would have guaranteed me that would have been a clincher right there. But
the biggest surprise though that whole entire process was how well Elden Ring did, because I went in drafted Elden Ring not because of just hype, but because of when I was going through seeing people's impressions from the beta, all the various stuff, it was glowing.
Yeah.
There was hardly anybody that was actually crying or complaining about the whole initial that gameplay, and that got me kind of like excited up, drafted that first. I thought it was going to be maybe like mid to late 80s at most. Near that I did not know this thing would evolve itself to one of the best-selling games, not only of the year, but quite possibly is one of those games of the generation type of games.
Yeah. I thought it would be one of the highest rated games of the year, but it was just like it was a double whammy of like it was coming out in February, and it was also one of the most anticipated games ever. So it was like these type of big games don't come around super often. Maybe you get one. Some years you get two. Like this year we're getting God of War and Elden Ring. Some years you might go a couple years without any. So the big thing is go ahead. What
I also didn't anticipate having that. I didn't anticipate playing that game for an entire month.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, like, Gables is really, I mean, of the 8 games he has not to release, he has God of War Ragnarok, Plague Tale Requiem, Hollow Knight Silksong, which I'm pretty sure we could probably just bump to 2023 at this point.
Probably.
Bayonetta 3, River City Girls, which
apparently is releasing this year, but yet they have not done anything in regards to the release date. They just keep saying coming soon.
Yeah, so I don't know. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Hellblade, as I said, Sparks of Hope. So those 5 games I talked about, that's pretty much it. He has 8 games that officially with no, like, we don't know for sure if they've been delayed or not. But we'll just assume those 5. I have a 60-point lead right now. I just got to be able to survive. If I could survive that with my 7 games still coming out this year, luckily for me, my 7 games all have release dates. But I'm not expecting a lot from them. I got Modern Warfare 2, which I'm not expecting a lot from. Marvel Midnight Suns, I'm not expecting a lot from that. I'm expecting like Modern Warfare 2. I'm expecting like mid to high 70s. Midnight Suns, I'm expecting like low to mid 70s. Devil in Me, that's a Dark Pictures anthology game. I'm expecting mid 70s. Gotham Knights. Go ahead.
The thing that has not happened at all this year that I thought would have happened by now is one of us having drafted the game or gotten a game and stuff, and it's just completely under 70, losing points.
Well, I had Saints Row.
You had Saints Row.
I dropped it. You
dropped
luckily.
it before the initial things went through.
So because that was a 66, so that would have lost me points. But yeah, like I have like Gotham Knights here, which I'm expecting mid to low 70s. Somerville, which doesn't have a date yet. That's like my one last, like I'll drop, like rip cord, pull, whatever, parachute, whatever, worst case scenario thing. If that comes out though, I'm expecting high points for that, but I don't think it's coming. But I'm gonna hold on. Callisto Protocol, so I have Callisto Protocol here and Pentiment as my last 2. Those are wild cards. Those are wild. I could see Pentiment. It's the Obsidian game. I can see anywhere in the 70s. I can see mid 80s. Like you look at like Kirby and the Forgotten Land when I drafted that 6th overall, 7th, 8th overall. 8th overall. I wasn't expecting much from that. It ended up being an 85. I mean, that blew me out of the water. Um, Same with like Gran Turismo 7. I drafted 6 overall. I got 17 points. Um, so yeah, those Callisto Protocol, I wouldn't be shocked if it's in the 80s. I wouldn't be shocked if it's the high 70s.
The one you need to worry about is Midnight Suns, because I do not personally. I could see it going through the 70s, but I could also see it going for like the mid to late 60s.
I don't think I think just like Pokemon games and like Madden and shit like that, there's just certain IPs that have like a floor, unless they're just dreadful bad. And I don't think Midnight Sun's gonna be dreadfully bad. I think it's just gonna be mediocre. And I think that the
That's
worst
also a
case scenario is just
possibility.
mediocre, and it's gonna come out and it's gonna be like a 72. I don't think
Even
it'll
so,
be.
that's still points.
I feel like everybody's gonna start at 7 for that, and it'll just go a couple points up from there. And that's kind of what I'm guessing. So I'm just taking the guaranteed points. I dropped AEW Fight Forever for that because I'm like, I don't think Fight Forever's coming, and Midnight Suns will be probably. I mean, worst case scenario for me, it's like 2-3 points. Best case, maybe it's like 10. So I don't know. But yeah, that is an update from us. So I'll do an update here in a couple weeks because we got, like I said, I'll probably do one probably end of October, early November, because we have 5 games coming out in October for us. And then maybe after that, we'll do like another one. Probably do one at the end or beginning of every month here on out. We'll do like at the end of the year, we'll do like the final full, like here's the final report from us. But yeah, I just figured it's been a long time since Gables and I have done an update on that. So yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I hit the wrong button here. I'll go back. All right. But Gables, let's move on to Spender News this week.
All right.
Let's talk about a couple cool things here. We got. Oh, 1 second. I'm doing some time type at the same time. We got a new Dead Space trailer. We finally got a full like a 2.5 minute long trailer. Got some gameplay stuff in it. Not a lot of gameplay. But I don't know. Looks like Dead Space. Gables, what's your thoughts on this thing?
Absolutely. It does look like Dead Space. It looks pretty good. I mean, they did rework a bunch of the stuff that looks like from the initial action trailer that we got. So I'm fairly curious to see how well it does when it does release in late January.
Yeah. I think it's January 27th.
Mm.
It looks fantastic. Looks gory as fuck as ever. It's a remake of the Dead Space one that I loved back when I remember renting it on a. Justin bought it on a whim, like 2008, I believe was when it came out, and told me it was really good. And I rented it. Remember, there used to be this place called Movie Gallery, right? Just actually right next to where I live now, but it was right down the street from me where I used to live. At the time, I walked up there and rented it on a whim. I fucking adored it, and I love Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3. A fun game, a bad Dead Space game, but a fun game nonetheless. And yeah, like I watched the trailer, I'm like, okay, I know where this tentacle guy is leading. I know these fights. I know these areas. I remember these areas pretty well. So yeah, I'm all for just this remake. We're just being spoiled. We got Callisto Protocol next month. We got that like 6-7 weeks later. We got Resident Evil 4 in March. So great stuff. I just wish that we had one of these games coming in October. Obviously, games get delayed. It's whatever. So, I'd rather come out late and be good than be in October and be bad. But man, if we can get Callisto like right now, or Dead Space now instead of like December and January, that'd be fucking perfect. Because I am jonesing for a good horror game. But Gables also, we got a trailer for it. Big week for EA here.
Yeah, it was.
We got the Need for Speed Unbound trailer. We both watched it. What was your thoughts on it?
To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't have too much excitement for it. It does look colorful in some aspects of it. I kind of am interested in seeing what direction they're going to go with the initial, maybe aesthetics of it. I mean, the gameplay of it, we only saw maybe like a few seconds at best. But at the same point, it's the last Need for Speed game did not do fairly well for them. Was it like Need for Speed Heat?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Because I knew they did like a remaster for like Hot Pursuit.
Well, this is a Criterion is making this,
Okay, Criterion is
which
making
is
this,
the
so they do
Burnout
have some pedigree for
Paradise
Burnout and
people.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very weird because they're hyping that up, but also they hyped it up years ago. I believe it was Ghost Games was making the old Need for Speed
All
games, the
right.
previous ones, and they took a lot of the Criterion people over there to help make these games. So, how many people from Criterion are still around from the peak of like Burnout and Need for Speed?
Who knows? But at the
Yeah,
same time, I don't have too much expectations for it, only because I don't generally play a lot of the Need for Speed stuff. But from the
yeah,
looks of it, it looks like it's okay, but I still need to see more of it.
yeah. I love the art style. It's very much like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If this comes out and it gets like, I guess we both have Game Pass. And
Yep.
Gables, what do we call Game Pass?
Oh, one of the best deals in gaming.
Not one of the best deal in gaming's. You goddamn right, Gables. Um, and we should at least get like a 10-hour thing to play the game. So I'm at least interested enough. Come on December 2nd, by the way. I'm at least interested enough, just based off the art style alone, to check it out. Because I loved it. I love that anime style. They got. I've been informed it is ASAP Rocky is the name of the rapper. That is the music, and like I believe he's in the game as well. Um, I don't really know who that is, but I heard someone say ASAP Rocky, and they got laughed out of the building. So I just want to make sure I got that right. ASAP Rocky, but I don't know. Like we were alive during the peak. We were teenagers in the peak of the Need for Speed era with like Underground and shit like that, and like Most Wanted,
Yep.
the first Most Wanted, and like I don't know, man, I just wanted to get back to those days because a really cool street racing game would be fucking awesome. Like Forza Horizon
Oh, I
has been
agree with it.
amazing,
Yes.
and they've done a decent job of like kind of integrating Forza Horizon has with like a simulation racer, but also like an arcadey street racer. But like, man, if we can just you know what, you guys you did a remake for Burnout Paradise. Can we just get a remake of fucking Need for Speed Underground, and I would be fucking happy. And just make sure you have Rob Zombie's Blacktop Rolling in there, and that's all I ask. That's all I ask. And then Little John the East Side Boys to the window to the wall, and there as well, because it just those two songs, and then Need for Speed Underground remade. Boom, $70. I'm in. But also Gables, Redfall might be coming in March. So a couple people have been leaking this. They've been pretty good in the past about leaking dates for this. This is the Arcane Studio people. I totally I spaced it for a second there, but I got it back.
Mm-hmm.
Arcane Austin. I believe they made the Prey games. This is the game that they revealed last E3 in 2021, and based off the CGI trailer, it looked like a Left 4 Dead vampire game. And then like it's not a fucking Left 4 Dead vampire game, guys. Fucking stop doing that. And then we got gameplay back in during Summer Game Fest this year, and it looked like a Left 4 Dead vampire game. So, yeah, it was supposed to come out this summer. It got delayed to first half of 2023, along with Starfield. But apparently, it's coming out in March. I don't know. I mean, coming to Game Pass. But apparently, there's also been some part of the leaks and rumors here. It looks like it's going to be like if you pre-order the game, you get to play it like a week early. But it'll also become the Game Pass. So if you wanted to get the best deal in gaming, you could just wait for Game Pass. I don't know. I mean, is this a game that's tickling any of your fancies?
Honestly, I didn't have really too much interest in it to begin with in that regards. I mean, there are definitely some gameplay stuff that I did see that looks interesting, but at the same time, I was with sort of like how most other people kind of viewed it, which was basically a Left 4 Dead style game with vampires.
It's not a fucking
Which,
Left 4
hey,
Dead
Left
vampire
4
game,
Dead.
guys.
I mean, Left 4 Dead's great and all, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, I like the first one especially because of all the fun stuff I went through in that. But at the same point, I don't really feel like I've seen enough improvements of it to justify me wanting to play it currently. I mean, that would all change if, like, say, if it's actually one of the best games of the year, and it's like I can actually play it with other people on Game Pass and do all the other shit. That would be pretty awesome. But I don't have too high of expectations for Redfall.
Yeah, and we've also seen even though it's not a fucking Left 4 Dead game, we've seen a big explosion of those type of games the last few years. Even
Absolutely.
Turtle Rock Studios, the people that made Left 4 Dead. What was that game called? The fucking
What, Evolve?
No, the game they put out last year that I actually really liked, but it was just I made you play it during Extra
Oh,
Life.
Blood. Something. You got Back for Blood.
Back for Blood. Thank you. God damn.
There you go.
I really liked the game. It's just the single player shit sucked.
I've heard next to nothing about that game since it launched.
Yeah, I know. I made you play an Extra Life, and we just were like, we're not having
Yes.
a good time, and that was pretty much it.
No,
I haven't played
because
it
the
since.
archaic structure of the damn game was not that great.
No, we did not have a good time. But I don't know. It's coming to Game Pass, so I'll check it out at the very least. But also Gabe, I called you Gabe, and I don't like it. Not a big fan of that. Ugh, that's gross. Gables. This is a game you might be interested in. Coming October 13th, this Thursday. Pilot Wing 64 coming to Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack.
Honestly, it's one of those games where I've never played before. Pilot Wing 64. Yeah. Pilot Wing 64. It's one of the first N64 games, right? I was of the crew where I didn't play that game back in the day because I knew next to nothing about it. But yeah, what's kind of hilarious about it is I've played plenty of N64 games, but coming into this year, there were a slew I never have. F-Zero X was one. Pilot Wing 64 is another. So that's definitely something I do look forward to trying out come this Thursday when it does release. But hey, you know what? It is what it is, though. If it's like with my experience with past Pilot Wing games, I'm probably going to play maybe for a few minutes and give it a chance, but maybe like just put on the back burner. Who knows?
I'm gonna upset you, Gables. When I got a 64, I had 3 games for 64. I had Star Fox. I had Star Fox. I had Pilot Wing 64, and I had Madden. That's all I had.
Yeah. 3 games I had. The first initially with the 64 was Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and WCW NWO Revenge.
Why you always got one up, you Gables?
That wasn't intentional, but still, I'm just saying.
Oh. All right. Speaking of one upping, Pokemon Splatfest coming November 11th through the 13th.
I'm
really mad at you about that, Gables. But coming.
Halloween 64 of all things.
It was a good game. I enjoyed the fuck out of it when I was a kid. I was like 7. I didn't know any better. You better fucking not. What have I been wrong? Except for like the 19 times at least on this podcast alone, I've been wrong. I've never been wrong. Don't think about it too hard. Don't do that. So there's a Pokemon Splatfest coming next month. There's gonna be a Green Fire. What the fuck am I talking about? Green Fire. What is this? Fucking some weird Captain Planet shit.
Street Fighter PS.
Yeah. There is a red, green, blue thing going here. We got a water, grass, and fire type Pokemon Splatfest coming November 11th through the 13th. That is the weekend for the launch of the new Pokemon game Scarlet and Violet coming on November 18th. That's cool. We talked about this initially when they announced the 3-way Splatfest thing. I just hope that they fix the issue with the tricolor thing they were doing because it was impossible to get into a game. I'm excited. My only one complaint, and it's I know it's a niche thing here. I wish it was a week before. I get why they're doing it that weekend. It's a week before.
Yes.
Pokemon. I wish it was a week before that though. November 6th through the 8th. Or 5th through the 8th, whatever the fuck it is. Extra Life weekend, because to be fucking perfect.
Oh my
Splatfest during Extra Life? That would have been fucking amazing.
Yes, it would have been amazing if that was during Extra Life. I mean, hell, I'd be probably playing that most of the day.
Yeah, we just do 24 hours of Splatfest. And we both pick Fire type, right, Gables? Right, Gables?
Well, yeah, Fire type is one of my favorite types, so yeah.
Fucking better be. I would fire you. I don't know can I fire you? Am I allowed to fire you? I don't know. We're 50-50 on this. I don't really know.
Shit.
Can I fire him? I don't know. I just quit I quit the podcast, start my own podcast. I wouldn't know what to do without you, so don't quit. But I don't know. I'm excited. I think this is cool. I like the fact you're doing this. I'm excited. The only downside is this comes out during God of War weekend, so I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to participate.
So it's probably gonna be just me trying to play this Splatfest
Gables,
during
it
that
might just be
weekend.
only you in the entire Splatfest. Play this
Probably.
fucking thing. Yeah, it's
Wait,
just
why is
you
there
and there's like 7 people in here, and that's it. It's just Japan and you. Uh, I don't know, but Gables, another really exciting thing for you. Coming January 19th. You didn't. I'm shocked you didn't know this until I told you. Persona 3 and 4 coming to Game Pass, PS4, and well, 5, whatever. And Switch as well. PC is also, if it's not on there. Persona 3 and 4, January 19th.
Dude, that's amazing. I didn't think it would be relatively that soon, but this month we're getting the re-releases of like Persona 5 Royal for the multiple platforms, including the Switch, and honestly, things are getting a bit more exciting. Not just with Game Pass, not just with Switch and stuff, but also in regards to all the other consoles as well. Though, but January, man, that's really soon. That
Yeah,
is really soon. Like at least a couple 3 months away.
yeah. I'm shocked that like they're doing Persona 5 Royale on its own. It's coming October 21st, and then they're just putting out 3 and 4 in January on the same day. I thought they were gonna do like 5, 4, 3 and like space them out. So
That's what I
yeah.
thought initially too. So my biggest question is when it does release the January release for both 4 and 3. I'm kind of wondering how both of them will look. That's the biggest thing because we haven't seen too much of gameplay from those initial ports.
Probably just be the PC ports, probably. Which I meant to mention at the top with the Horizon thing. It'd be hilarious if they just did the PC port of the Horizon Zero Dawn to PS5. Like, I think it'd be funny. They did the PC port, the $50 PC port, and charged us $70 on PS5. I think that'd be really funny. Honestly, I'd respect them if they did that. I wouldn't even be mad. I'm like, you know what? Good game. But I don't know. I'm happy for you, Gables. I'm happy for you. But Gables, let's move on here to what we've been playing. I have not played much of anything. I've been playing more Splatoon 3. I can't get over how good Splatoon 3 is. I don't know why. I just
I
love it
know,
so
right?
fucking much. I just love it so goddamn much. It is so good. And I'm not going to lie to you, Gables. I don't like the single player.
Oh, okay.
I didn't care for it. I got like midway through Act 2. I don't like the you need points to unlock to like to break up the fucking shit
Dude.
to
Yeah.
open more areas. And then like and this is like I remember Dragon Age Inquisition did something similar, where you needed like to do side quests and main quests to like unlock the next areas of games, and I didn't like that either. And that's just it's a me thing. I don't like that mechanism. And honestly, I just I don't really care for. I don't know. Like I like the boss fights. I just don't want to do all the other shit to get there. Maybe I'll just like mainline it. I don't know. Maybe with like Extra Life, I'll just like sit down. I'll just like mainline that shit. But I just keep going back to multiplayer. I fucking adore
Well,
the
I don't blame you
multiplayer.
for doing that.
Yeah, I just keep going back. I use the double XP. I had the XP where your teammates get double XP. I just did the cash thing where all your teammates get double XP or double cash. Um, I'm having a great fucking time. I just can't get over it. I'm trying out different weapons. I just started using the roller for the first time.
There
That's
you
pretty
go.
fun. Yeah, the one more game mentality because there's like you can just jump into a game
Yeah.
for
Especially when
three
you go into
minutes long.
turf war and just do like a whole bunch of random shit and stuff with that, it's definitely fun as hell to try to play inside those freaking turf war matches and stuff and try to get whatever you can using different weapons, ink brushes,
Yeah,
rollers and stuff. Like, yeah, it's so fun just to do
it's
that
so
stuff.
goddamn good. I don't know why. I don't know why two just didn't click with me, but 3 is, and I'm having a great fucking time.
Well,
Play more.
considering it was like 2017 when Splatoon 2 did come out,
Yeah,
it not surprised me.
yeah. I mean, I love Splatoon 1 though, and then 2 just didn't. I just didn't like 2 that much, and 3 is doing it for me. I don't know. Maybe it's just having an 8-year gap instead of a 3-year gap is doing it for me. I don't know. Play more Madden. Gables did the unthinkable,
Now what's that?
so I'm pretty pissed. I finished up my first season a couple weeks ago. Um,
Uh-huh.
with my franchise mode. Aaron
Yep.
Rodgers retired after one fucking season. I was pissed. Just I was so
What
fucking mad.
season?
One season, I was so fucking mad. Um,
Oh.
Jordan Love, he's like a 70 or a 69 or something like that. Nice. In my in Madden franchise. And what I do is I play a game, and then once it's like I play Aaron Rodgers. I'm really good at Madden. People don't know. I mean, I'm not even bragging. I play. You play 300 hours a year for 25 years. You eventually get good at a game, you know. And once like I play the first like half, maybe 2.5 quarters with Aaron Rodgers, and then I put Jordan Love in, and I just play with Jordan Love, just try to like give him some XP and shit like that, and just play with him, get used to him. Cause it's fun to get used, to play with different quarterbacks. Because like Aaron Rodgers has just been a cheat code. I've had a cheat code with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers my entire life playing Madden, so it's kind of fun playing with a quarterback that isn't like a 95 overall. So he retired for 1 year, but I'm like, well, Jordan Love, not quite ready to be, QB1.
Right.
There was a free agent QB
Uh-huh.
sitting there ready to go. 93 overall. 46-year-old Tom Brady.
Uh-huh.
I signed Tom Brady.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. It's going pretty good. So I'm playing as Tom Brady. I've never played Tom Brady before in Madden. It's interesting. So I'm having a good time with that. It's definitely been weird because I definitely do like an air raid offense where I'm just fucking chucking 50-yard bombs a lot. I threw a lot of picks the first couple of games. I threw 8 picks in the first 2 games, but I threw 11 touchdowns as well. Relearning how to play. Like I've been spoiled, like I said, by Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Of like they could throw bombs. When you have a 46-year-old quarterback, doesn't throw bombs very well. There's a lot of interceptions, so it's been kind of fun playing as him and like just nickel and diamond. You're doing a lot of quick 3-step drop, slant routes, out routes, shit like that. You can't medium. You got that intermediate and short range game, so that's been really fun. It's been a long time since I've had to like change up the way I play Madden. Playing as Tom Brady. So yeah, that's all I'm playing. I'm really just kind of like, I'm in that weird spot where I don't want to start anything because like the Onslaught is coming next week. Gables for gaming.
Yep.
Scorn comes out on Friday, which I don't know if I'm going to be interested in that game, but I at least
it's Game Pass, isn't it?
It's coming to Game Pass. Yeah. So it's coming out on Friday. But like, like I said, like Scorn's coming Friday. I'm at least want to try it out next weekend. But then after that, it's like you got Plague's Tale, Mario plus Rabbids, Gotham Knights, Resident Evil. You got God of War, Pokemon, Callisto Protocol, Final Fantasy Reunion.
Yeah, Crisis Core.
Crisis Core, yeah. Like, there's just like next week starts the beginning of like, I could do a really good top 10 list potentially just from October, November, December alone for the game of the year. I was thinking about this here. I was thinking about this the other day, Gables. If you made me do a top 10 list of just May through June and then July through December, I could probably make you a pretty good top 10 list from each 6-month period. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, it's just that I'm just like sitting around waiting because I don't want to like start anything. Like I'm like, oh, I have these games I want to check out. I'm like, like I got Extra Life coming and also 900 games coming in the next fucking 2 months. Why do that to myself? But Gables, you got PlayStation. You kind of teased at the beginning. PlayStation Plus Extra. You got it. I looked at your trophies. I see what you're playing. I see what you did. Let's talk about it.
All right, so quintessentially, the main game that I had been playing was Stray.
Fucking right, doggy dog. Sorry, I'm really excited about this.
I wanted to try out Stray because, for one, not only did I draft it in terms of the fantasy critic stuff, but I also wanted to play it because it was a good game that people have been talking about and stuff. So,
I talked about this game.
Yeah, yes, you did. You did talk about it and stuff, and it was fairly enjoyable. It's like 5.5, 6 hours at most. I think I spent playing Stray. I did get like about 75% of that little B12 like memories and stuff.
Yeah.
But I decided to take my time trying to go through stuff. I didn't really task upon like collecting everything. because I went to the mentality it's like, you know what, I'm probably going to be playing through this game again sometime this point, maybe not for another year or so, but basically what I went through and did is like I just went through, just screwed around a bunch as the cat and stuff, the orange cat, just like knocking shit off with counters, like going through jumping on the friggin' bellies of like robots and stuff, and like
How satisfying was it knocking things over, Gables?
it was actually pretty hilarious,
It was
like
it's so
going through
satisfying.
and also like sharpening your claws on
Oh
furniture and
yeah,
like doing all this other
yeah, scratching
rugs and
everything.
stuff. What was hilarious though is like seeing robots' reactions every time I would just go through just randomly meowing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Did
was
you did you try to play, was it chess or something with the robots at one point? Was it Mojang or something like that?
Oh yeah. It was
Yeah.
chess, right? And you could just jump into the center of the board and all the pieces fly
Knock
everywhere.
other pieces off is so great. I love this game. It's so good.
I loved it to where it's like immediately as soon as I jump on the table and stuff like that and all the pieces start, I was like, no.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's great. Yeah. Just, yeah. Like you find the TV, you just change the channel on the robots. It's great times.
All the platforming stuff, all the kind of parkour stuff you're doing as the cat, it's
Parkour.
fairly enjoyable. It was one of those experiences to where I felt like it lasted long enough to be a complete game. It was, if I could play it through over again, I probably would finish it possibly another maybe 3.5 hours tops without having to collect a lot of stuff. But throughout my whole experience, though, I had a fairly positive one. Not only just the cap, but learning a little bit more about the overworld stuff, and also getting towards the end portions of the game, and then that finished the way that game finished off and stuff. Kind of bittersweet from what it was, but they kind of left the realms of possibility of like maybe being another game in regards to being Stray, personally. But that's what I initially got from that final cutscene. But at that same point, it was just basically like a fun experience all the way around.
Yeah.
But another game that I was playing a little bit of, which was kind of hilarious in and of itself.
I saw this. I saw this. Why are you doing this to me, Gables?
And that's why initially I did it to begin with. It was like, you know what? Tyler's been talking a lot about this game over the past couple of years, so
It's
let's
like,
go forth and give it a shot.
before you say it, it's like when an ex starts just posting a bunch of pictures online and like right after the breakup, and like them posting all this cool shit that they're doing, or they're hanging out with the new person, and it's
Yeah.
like they're like, the fuck is this person? It's like, ooh, they're just they're kind of like stabbing you with a fork. It's like, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you. And I saw that trophy. I saw the trophies, Gables, and I'm like, man, Gables is fucking with me right now. He's trying to, he's doing this to hurt me, and that's the only reason why he's doing this to me. Go ahead, talk about it.
Well, not the entire reason, though. I was actually kind of curious about it. So I decided to download and started playing Death Stranding on the PS5. The PS5 versions of it, because of the upgrades and the improvements of it. I went through the prologue and also of Chapter 1, the full entirety of that. I have to agree that the story is kind of interesting in some regards because of, like, not only being open-ended and stuff, but yet the cutscenes are masterful, obviously. The whole introduction and kind of like the whole mysteriousness of what's going on and stuff. I mean, it's a Hideo Kojima game. I know what I'm getting myself into. It's going to be some crazy, bizarre shit that's being plastered everywhere. It's going to be you doing all sorts of various crazy crap that you're not going to understand at first, but once everything gets revealed and stuff, it's going to be pieced together bit by bit. It's basically going to take another like documentary just to go forth and explain what happened inside that game in its entirety. But I will say this is definitely an experience, all right, to where you're going through, you're delivering stuff, and especially after that first, the whole aspect of the first chapter and stuff, where there's going to be some spoilers inside this too. And quite honestly, skip ahead, maybe like another couple minutes afterwards, but once the character's mother dies and stuff, and you have to carry her on your back and stuff, and having to go terrain, there's different routes you can choose. There's like one through the mountains, there's like one through this and one like for another side and stuff. It was hilarious though. I went through this one round the far side and stuff. There were some ladders going up and down, some tow ropes and stuff like from other players that have put stuff there. But what was more hilarious about it is I came to a dead end, and so I went through and I had to backtrack all the way around and to go to the opposite way to where I saw more like ladders and like ropes and stuff for me to go through and do. But then came this one impasse and stuff to where I had to cross this long river. I mean, not like say a couple of steps. I mean, I had to go all the way across, and then when I tried going all the way across, the stamina meter for Norman Reedus started dwindling down, and when it finally got, I basically realized I can't cross through like half this river. I had to backtrack back, and then I lost the package inside
Yep.
the water as it's drifting away.
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed that quickly and went back and got my stamina back so I can do it a bit differently. I'm like, well, balancing stuff, carrying of the packages, this and that. At that point, I had been able to deliver a bunch of the packages unharmed, this and that. But yeah, that was that was an experience of itself to where it's like that frustrating moment to where, oh god, yeah, I gotta keep. I'm gonna lose my shit. So yeah, basically, and I'll be back in just one moment.
Okay. I don't like the fact that Gables is playing this game to hurt me. Um, like I don't like the fact that Gables is saying glowing things about this game. It's a bad game. Will I replay this game? Go back to this game in January? Most definitely. For some reason, every January, I go back to this game and I play it for X amount of hours. I plow through a few more chapters. I'm pretty close. I think I'm like chapter like 14 or 15. Or like I think I got like. I remember I was talking to my best friend Justin. He was like, I told him where I was. He's like, dude, you're right at the fucking end, and like you're at the best part of that game. And it's like, I know. I just don't want to do anymore. I can't fucking take it. I put it on very easy. I put it on the easiest setting, and I hate it. I hate playing the game. And like I was with Gables, like I understand where Gables come from. Like when I played the game, I'm like, it's fine. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. Like I'm trying to. You're at the point of like convincing yourself, like this game is good. This is a good game. It's Kojima. It can't be bad. It can't be bad. It is bad, guys. It's bad. It's very bad. It's not a good game. And if you think it's a good game, you're a bad person. I can't help you with that. You're a bad person. You're a really bad person. And I don't got everything really added to that part of it. As far as like just calling you a piece of shit, go fuck yourself. And I don't think that's a terrible thing to say to you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We're at the end. We're getting towards the end here. Gables we're wrapping up the show. Gables unfortunately had to walk away. Hopefully everything's okay. I don't have too much to say. I don't know. I'm just excited for the rest of the year. Because we look like I talked about like the next month, 2 months is just an onslaught of gaming. It's first world problems. It's gonna be a good fucking time, and I can't wait. Like, we got Mario plus Rabbids, Plague Tale Requiem. Yeah. So, anyways, Gables piece of shit. You know what I mean? Just for playing these games,
Yes,
playing Death
yes,
Stranding.
of course.
Yeah. So I mean, Gables, continue on with Death Stranding, you piece of shit.
All right, I like what I was saying before being interrupted and stuff. Yeah, that mission was fairly interesting. Also, avoiding all the goddamn, the BTs and stuff like that during the one portion of the mission. Yeah, that was also an experience in of itself. I mean, granted, I know it was kind of mundane going through and delivering things from point A to point B, but at the same time, I did have different elements to what I could do. I did go through and explore a whole bunch of different areas around during the routes and stuff. But the most interesting portions at this moment in time have been the cutscenes, been the character sort of story aspect of it, and that's what's wanting me to continue on personally. It's because of the whole aspect of, okay, what's going on next here? But it is kind of hilarious, like going through the base here for Norman Reedus and stuff. You have your own bathroom, you have your all this and that and stuff, and just basically taking a little bit of snapshots with everything, with him making faces inside the window. It's pretty funny.
Did you get to the part with the monsters?
Okay, so for
I
the
don't mean
BTs,
I don't mean not the BTs. I mean literally the drink monsters.
Oh, the drink monsters. Okay, no, not yet.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, I just finished chapter 1.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah, so right now I may go through and play it, but at the same point though, it just really depends because I've also downloaded a couple other games that I had been playing just to try to screw around with and stuff because I was in sort of like a fighting game mood. So I re-downloaded Tekken 7, all its other DLC stuff. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was another one, but the reason why I went through and did that initially is because I also did get a external SSD for the PS5, and that's the whole Samsung T7. Saw it at Walmart. It was on clearance, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, SSD. It's not going to be playing the PS5 games natively from the drive itself, but I have a bunch of PS4 content which I don't want to delete and re-download again. So I switched to that. That's where everything else is transferred, and it just works like fucking like really quickly. Loads
Hmm.
games in fairly quickly. The SSD does, and yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing this week.
Nice. Well, very good, Gables. Very cool. Except for the Death Stranding part, that's kind of shitty of you to do. But anyways, guys, if you like all that, please, like I said, at the top of the show, like, follow, subscribe. Look in the descriptions down below. Follow us on all those places. Share with your friends. Sharing is the best thing you can do. Sharing is caring. But yeah, I've been your host. I was Tyler.
I've been Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, find yourself a game, play it, love it,
Not Death
but
Stranding.
also thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk Nerds podcast.
Hey, Gables.
Yeah.
Scissor. Other way. This way. Yeah. Other way, Gables. Other way. Other way. Yeah. Bye, guys.
See ya. Oh, God.